Whoa, buddy. Put that thing back in its holster. We haven't gone anywhere.
I don't understand.
Check out the MichaelDukesShow.com for information on how to get access to the podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal.
The Michael Dukes Show.
The greed and the entitlement is astounding to me.
What more could you want from a low-budget radio program?
This is a dumpster fire.
That was just BS.
It is time to get a new perspective.
We know just what you need, and we've got just the cure. Open wide and prepare for a steaming hot cup of freedom.
I just don't fathom it.
The Michael Dukes Show, streaming live across the world.
Oh, baby, hump day. Middle of the week, downhill slide to Firearms Friday. Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to the program. It is the Michael Dukes Show, broadcasting live across the state of Alaska on this, your favorite radio station, and or FM translator, and live around the world on the internet at michaeldukeshow.com, where you'll find the links to the audio-only live stream, which was just making sure it was actually up and running. It is. It's actually up and running. To the audio-only live stream and links to our social media sites, including Facebook and YouTube and Rumble. It's the place where you find out all the good stuff about the good stuff, right? Right there on the show. So check it out again, michaeldukeshow.com. Well, I have to apologize. I got my days mixed up. You know, this 4-day weekend thing just kind of, it threw me for a loop. Anyway, I got my days mixed up, and I thought that the Wheelchairs for Warriors lady was going to be on today. And then I was trying to get Donna Ardwin and Joe Geldhoff on tomorrow. Turns out that was backwards. And then Joe, the bottom line is that there's no guest today, and it's all my fault. And I blame myself. That's kind of what's going on. Which is unfortunate because, I'm desperately trying to find some, kind of good news, holiday spirit, less political kind of way to get into the holiday, right? So anyway, I guess first and foremost, let me just clarify what the rest of the week looks like. So tomorrow on the program, we are going to be joined not only by Crystal Larimore, who is one of the founders of Wheelchairs for Warriors. We're also going to be joined at 6:05 by Natalie Thomas, who is with the Nikolaevsk School charter school group, and she's gonna give us the rundown on all the positive and great news coming out of Nikolaevsk, because they just got their charter approved, and what are next steps, and what can the community do to help support that kind of stuff and everything else. So that's tomorrow. Today, nothing. Friday, nothing yet, but Friday's still a couple days away, so we're all good. We are officially 21 days from Christmas Eve. So officially 3 weeks today from Christmas Eve. And I hope that you guys are, have you got your Christmas shopping done? I know that on Monday, what's today, Wednesday? Monday, I was desperately looking at my lists and my mental lists and everything else. And I'm like, did I get everything for everybody? Do I have to stop over at Ulmer's to get, how about this? Okay. Did I order that from, because that's going to take a week or two. I mean, literally it's like, okay. But once it's done, you're like, wow, I can relax. I can relax and enjoy the season. So get that shopping done early, and then you can relax. Although I will say that one of my favorite memories is still from Christmas, is that my dad would take us shopping, us being my brother and I. He would take us shopping on Christmas Eve. That happened a few times, where he would, we'd get up the day before, Christmas Eve day in the morning, and then we'd be like, he'd like, okay, we're going down, we're going downtown to do, and he'd take us through this scuttle and bustle and scurry and hurry and everything else, whatever a hustle and bustle of everything that was happening down there in Fairbanks during Christmas Eve shopping time. I just remember it was a little mad. It was a little crazy, but that was the thing. He would take us down, and this probably happened 4 or 5 times when I was growing up. Probably by the time my brother and I got to be where we were kind of ambulatory and could, we were in our our early tweens or whatever and getting ready to do that. It's probably when it started to happen. But I just remember going out and buying things, and helping, carry stuff and doing all that, and just kind of how the madness that is Christmas Eve, it left an impression. It was fun. It was fun, but I like the idea of having all of my Christmas shopping kind of wrapped up, so to speak, kind of all done and wrapped up, and then I can just joined in. Anthony just said, basically, you moved into paying extra for shipping this week if you want it here by Christmas. Next week, you're screwed. I mean, whatever I had ordered this week is supposed to show up next week, so I'm not too worried about it. But all the local stuff, of course, is easy. But the big question is, are you a professional shopper? Have you moved into the paying for the wrapping? That's my question. Have you moved into the professional gift wrapping segment of your life yet? Where, I mean, maybe there's a few people out there who are like, I just love to wrap presents. Okay, great. That's not me, right? That's not my wife. It's just not our thing, right? So it was back when I lived in Fairbanks. I remember I lived in Fairbanks. I literally would bring several boxes of presents because I had 5 kids, right? 5 kids. I would bring several boxes of presents to the local, not Walden Books. What is it there in Fairbanks? Barnes and Noble. Because they would have a gift wrapping table sponsored by the who's what's. It's the Brownies, the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the FHA, the 4-H, whoever it was that had a table there, and they had wrapping, and you just paid. It was a donation, donate whatever. And heck, I would drop a $50 bill on the table just for wrapping, so I didn't have to do it because I hate it. And we just sit there, and people would laugh because, I mean, I literally would be like, I only got one more box, and I'd bring back in one more box, and I'm like, okay, this goes to this, and this gets a label on it. And I mean, I'm directing traffic, but I'm not doing a thing. And then it's all going back in the boxes, going back into my car and ready to go. That, my friends, is when you've hit the pinnacle of, kind of your Christmas organization. When you, because they usually have the good wrapping paper, like the thick, not the stuff that, you picked up in sale at Walmart or whatever. They've got a nice thick, that's when you know you've reached the pinnacle of Christmas buying and everything else, is when you're ready to pay for somebody else to wrap. I mean, I again, I can wrap a present, but it's just not my favorite thing to do. So that's where I'm at. I just down here, I don't know who. I haven't looked at the schedule yet or looked at I don't know who does wrapping down here in Homer. I'm sure that there's something at Olmer's or somewhere else out there, but somebody will get a little bit of my money this year to help me wrap some presents that I just don't have time to wrap. But yeah, I remember that. And then in Wasilla, it was the not the wagon. It wasn't the wagon wheel. It's the I don't know. It's Wednesday. I'm sleep deprived and I can't remember the name of the place. It's in the parking lot there, the Safeway there. There's that little place, and they had some kids camps that they were wrapping presents for, and so I donate $50, $100 to the kids camp for the thing, and they would wrap all my presents, and it would be the same thing. I mean, I love that. I just, I'm giving back to the community, doing some good. Somebody else is doing it. I'm hanging out, drinking coffee, waiting for this thing to go. It's, it just, I don't want to wrap all that stuff. That is the ultimate to me. That's when I know you've got your Christmas dialed in, is when you're like, yep. And I know exactly where I'm taking my presents to get them wrapped and everything else. If you love to wrap them, more power to you. So that's the deal. It's a good deal. Anthony said, I had a fun Christmas Eve ritual for the last decade or so. I'll go to a few restaurants with servers, order a cup of coffee, maybe a single piece of pie, sit for 15 to 20 minutes, pay to $3 to $4 on the bill, and drop a $200 tip. I figure if someone is stuck working to get people coffee on Christmas Eve, the least I can do is spread some holiday cheer. That's sweet, man. That's some good stuff right there. I like that. And I have no objections here, my friend. No objections here. Ulmer's, somebody just said Ulmer's said I can, it's good for you. All right. Let's I guess we're coming up on the break here. So it's one of those things. We won't play the corporate holiday game, says Tim. If we need something, we buy it. We make an exception for the kids. Don't have any of my own, but I like to spoil the deserving few. Does that mean you don't buy something you don't have a Christmas? I mean, you don't have to buy like a million things. You could buy just one thing and give it on Christmas, right? That's not a corporate holiday thing. That's okay. I mean, Tim, you do you, boo. That's all I could say. You do you. I mean, I'm just going to give my wife a few extra. I buy stuff throughout the year. I mean, I know everybody's like trying to be like, well, I'm just not corporate cronyism and the thing and the. It's the holidays, man. Just have a little bit of holiday cheer. And, you don't have to buy your significant other 5 million things. Buy them one present if you want. But, I mean, yeah, that's all I do. And getting the kids, if you got kids, you got to give them a little something. Just to, give them a reason for the season. All right. That's it. Just, I won't play the corporate holiday. They can't make me. Yippee-ki-yay. Anyway, we're going to continue. Yeah, I mean, it just felt like a bah humbug was baked into that. I don't know why. All right. We're going to be back. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Oh, by the way, I opened up the phone line. 319-527-3864. Miguel was asking yesterday for open lines, and so why not? I got nobody else. Let's do it. 319-527-3864. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio.
If you missed the show, you can listen to it on your time with Dukes On Demand. Oh, and it's free. Like America used to be. Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
Okay, fine. Where did my oh, there it is. I was like, where did my thing go? All right, Melody's on the line, and we're going to wait patiently for Melody while I blow my nose here. I apologize. Man, this thing has been hanging on for like 12 days now. I feel better, and then I'm like, oh, then I'm beat down, and then I get stuffy again. I don't know what's going on. All right. Let's see. Let me get caught up on the I love to give gifts when I can, not to do it because I'm forced, said Lisa. Well, no, I mean, I don't think anybody ever said anything about forcing you to give gifts, but you know, oh, that's a brilliant idea. Melody just said, I wrap with no tags on the gifts. Each child gets their wrapping paper piece in their stocking. It helps alleviate looky-loos and present shakers. That's a brilliant idea. That you don't know what all your presents are wrapped in one type of paper, but you don't know what kind until the night of, and then she stuffs the chunk of paper into your stocking. That's a good idea. You know, that's a good idea. Let's see. 1 year I was working a lot and I was tired, so I paid 2 neighbor girls to wrap our Christmas presents, gave them some extra money to spend, and gave me some free time. I mean, that's the truth, right? That is 100% truth. That's absolutely. All right. He says, what? I load my everyday carry magazines in the following order during the holidays: green tracer, jacketed hollow point; red tracer, jacketed hollow point. I want to make sure if I find myself in a self-defense or shooting engagement, the enemy feels my Christmas spirit. Yes, Anthony, that counts as holiday talk. It's ironic enough that it's kind of crazy. There's so much pressure. There's so much pressure to buy. It could cause people to feel bad. See, I don't know. This is just me. Okay. I don't care what I'll do what I want. I've never felt a pressure to buy. I've never felt that, I'm going to get what I can. And when I feel like I've given, what I could afford budget wise and the presents that I got were thoughtful and everything else. Okay. I don't care. I just don't, I don't feel that. I know several people have said that the pressure of the thing, and I'm like, who's pressuring who? You're pressuring you. Because I guarantee you those people are not thinking about what you're thinking. Yeah. Missing all of the family traditions as we approach empty nesting, says Cindy. Yeah, as you get older, it does become more difficult. I mean, it does make those times sweeter, though. I mean, like I said, we just had our son over for Thanksgiving, and that was pretty sweet. Pretty exciting. I'm pretty proud of that kid. I mean, he's taller than I am, and anyway, I agree with you. Missing all those family traditions as you get ready to empty nest, it can be a problem. But just make the memories while you can, Cindy. It's all you can do. Make those memories while you can. That's the important part. All right. I have no idea what we're going to talk about here, but Melody's on the line, so we're going to talk with her. Here we go.
The Michael Duke Show. Seriously humorous with a pinch of intellect. Sorry. That is humorous. Here's Michael Dukes.
Okay. Some interesting comments during the commercial break here. Again, it's just kind of open line, open forum today. I've got no guests, and I really don't care about any of the political stories this morning. I mean, there's more on the, I'm sure we'll get into it. There's more on the whole legislative leadership battle and all that kind of, but I just can't be bothered to care right now. But Melody is on the line, and I do care about that. So let's see what Melody has to say out in beautiful Matsu. Melody, what's on your mind?
Good morning, Michael.
Morning.
Hey, I'm not trying to dull the presence in the room, but I would like to inform people that I just became aware of Walmart charging a location surcharge for delivery of any packages to Alaska. They're trickling the tariffs down to the consumer, I guess, as to be expected, but I wasn't real happy. This is a new thing. I wasn't real happy to see that at Christmas time they're charging exponentially $20 on. So I bought a $14 item. They charged me an extra $20 to have it mailed to my house.
Really?
And I asked them what that location surcharge was for, because it doesn't say shipping. It says location surcharge. So I called Walmart corporate, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, it's, you know, I go, are you doing this tariff to the lower 48 states? No. Alaska, Hawaii, Samoa, the overseas areas. I'm like, but we're not overseas. We're connected, you know. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. Beware Walmart shopping online for shipping. You can call corporate and get them to drop that extra charge. That's what I did, because I'm not paying extra.
Yeah.
I'm not all about that.
Yeah. Well,
anyways, that's what I wanted to tell you. I don't mean to damper the festivities in the chat room, but I just wanted to let people know what's going on.
Okay, Melody, you got to give me, now that you brought us down, you got to bring us back up, and you got to give us a good Christmas memory. Come on, we got to have your favorite
Oh my gosh, what do I pick?
Your favorite Christmas memory. You got to do it.
Oh my gosh, favorite. Okay, well, I have to say, my favorite years were when my grandmother was alive, because we used to have family dinners of 30 people. So I have compassion for the people that said empty nest. I'm not quite an empty nester yet, but it's getting there. So we went to having parties of 30 when I was a child growing up, and big, huge activities to a family of 3.
Yeah.
So I just cook in tradition of my grandmother, the way she cooked. Nothing can be changed. It has to be that way. And that's how I keep her memory alive, is by cooking in her traditional way.
Good.
Those, my best years were when I was being raised by my grandparents. And that was from 10 till adulthood.
Wow. Well, those are good memories, and those are good things to pass along, Melody. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We appreciate you calling in this morning.
And just in case I'm not up for next week or the following week, because I've been taking time off because my husband's home, not getting up with the kid. So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, just in case I don't get back in the chat room. You guys have a wonderful Merry Christmas, and make those memories.
You bet. All right. Thank you, Melody.
Thanks, Michael.
Appreciate you calling in this morning. That leaves all the lines open at 319-527-3864. 319-527-3864. Yeah, somebody said Chris in the chat room just said, yeah, Walmart was going to charge him an extra $100 for his grandson's Hot Wheel track. He went to Amazon instead. And there's not a lot of, excuse me, there's not a lot of like local toy stores. When I was a kid, I mean, there was a lot of local toy stores. You know, there was Sears and Roebuck and there was J.C. Penney's, but there wasn't anything online. And it was, you know, there was some local stuff. But these days, you know, there's not a lot of like local toy, like we have Captain's Toy Chest down here. There's a place up in Soldotna. I know that Fairbanks has the Toy Quest, but there's just not a lot of places where there's you know, and so, and you may not find the Hot Wheels track you were looking for your kid who loves the Hot Wheels cars or whatever. So yeah, Chris went with Amazon instead. That's the thing. You can't nickel and dime people on the backside and expect that it's going to work out. You know, that's that's one of those things. Let's see. 319-527-3864. What were we? Oh, and of course, Harold's going to try and bring it back to politics. I don't care. Richie says it gets old being told these places don't ship to Alaska or some other crap like Walmart is now pulling. Won't be using Walmart online unless they knock that stuff off, says Richie. Yeah, I mean, you know, there are choices out there. And there are freight forwarders. You know, if you have the time to do it, you know, you can always have the stuff shipped to a freight forwarder. We've got the, you know, Ketchimack Freight Solutions down here. And I know that there's Span up in the Anchorage area. And there's other places where if, you know, you can have them shipped there, you may pay a little extra in shipping, but, you know, and at least it's up front and you know how much it's going to be. The idea that you buy a $15 part and they charge you a $20 surcharge, that just seems a little ridiculous, right? I mean, come on. That's the kind of crazy stuff. Anthony says 30 people that when he was talking about Melody having all, he goes, I'd have to fight my way out of the joint. My social battery holds a 9-volt charge for 15 minutes. And that type of gathering is solidly a 30 amp 120 scenario. I mean, you know, you get used to it. They're your family. It's not like they're strangers. Let's see. Good morning. There's no reason to have to blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right, you guys. Don't everybody stay positive. It's tough sometimes though, isn't it? Everybody stay positive. It's gonna be fine. So anyway, Christmas shopping, Christmas memories, Christmas time. And I will say that I did take my sons out. Excuse me. Goodness. In honor of my dad, I did take my kids out to Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve, like once, maybe twice. But that's still just too, no, thank you. No, thank you. You know, I just wanted them to experience what I experienced. And then I was like, why am I doing this to myself? It's just, you know, it is, it's why am I, you know, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. But, you know, hey, you do you. There's people who go out and buy. How many of you were raised in a family where you went out and you raised the tree on Christmas Eve? That's kind of a cool tradition when you think about it. But at the same time, it's a lot of work for Christmas Eve because you still got, did you wrap the presents? Did you take care of all this other stuff? Now you got to put the tree up. Then you got to do all this other stuff. It's kind of crazy out there. Oh man. It's just, you know, one of those things. All right. Again, this whole show this morning is just open line, open forum. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. If there's something else you want to talk about, feel free to do so. 319-527-3864, 319-527-3864. And we'll see what other folks have said. Obviously, you've never met my family. People are talking about these big family gatherings around there, how there were so many kids. There were so many people in the house. You could barely walk through the house. It was so crowded and everything else. This is, I grew up when I was a kid. We would have the Christmas morning, Christmas Eve was at the house, and then Christmas morning was at the house and everything else. And then about mid-afternoon, we would get ready to go, and we would go over to one of the relatives' houses. And it always rotated between, my mom had two other siblings, and so it was the grandparents and then the two other siblings, and it would always rotate between one of the three houses every year. This year it's you, this year it's us, this year it's them. And you'd come over with all the relatives would go over. And so we had three siblings together, plus all their kids, 8-10 kids. And then the kids started to get kids. And I mean, there was times when there was 30 or 40 people in those houses. And it of course, as we grow up and we move away, and it changes. But you look back on that with some good, fond memories. We had times when there was a dozen people, and we had times when there was 30 people, and now it's back down to a dozen people again, or less. That's the cycle. That's the circle of life right there. All right. Ron's on the line. Let's go over and see what Ron has to say this morning. Good morning, Ron. What's on your mind?
Well, have you ever wired an extra branch into a perfect Christmas tree except for one spot?
No, I have not. A perfect branch except for one spot, and it just turns dark, or what?
Well, you need the extra branch to fill out the empty space on the tree.
Oh, right. Yeah, I got an empty spot on the tree, so I'm going to wire in an extra branch. I have never done that. I've only had a live tree probably a handful of times over the years. I just found it always to be more, to be easier and more meet expectations if I had an artificial tree.
Well, I would say that's the way to go. I have an artificial tree now myself. But I remember as a kid, the folks did that more than once.
They'd find a bald spot and they'd be like, "We need one more branch. Go break a branch off outside and bring it in. We're going to wire it in here."
That's pretty much the way it was.
That's great.
Just a thought for those who have been around for a while.
All right. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for being part of it today. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I do miss when we lived in Fairbanks. I mean, we had our living room is a high cathedral ceiling. And so I had a 9-foot Christmas tree. It was 9 feet tall. It was an artificial tree I'd invested in. Big tree. It was probably 5 feet across at the base and 9 feet tall. It is, it's still there in the garage in Fairbanks. So the house burned down, but the garage is fine. Anyway, but that tree, it would never fit anywhere else, but it would be cool. It would be cool. Bubba's on the line. Let's see what Bubba has to say. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Better than I deserve, Michael. Better than I deserve. Keep talking about wiring in one branch. My dad used to go up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan for deer hunting, and where they had balsam trees, and they used those for the paper mill, but they would top the balsam trees, which were really thinly branched trees, but he'd bring back like a 17-foot chunk of tree on the roof of the car, the old big Pontiac. And then he'd take a section out of the center, and he would set the tree up in the house, 7 foot tall, and he would, after the branches laid out, he would have a drill motor. He would be drilling into the trunk. He would be whittling branches, and he would build the Christmas tree. I mean, it took 3 days to get the Christmas tree up and decorated. But it was beautiful. Right? It was awesome. But balsams have no branches.
Yeah, no, they're a little thin. They're a little thin on that. So he would just build the whole thing right there in the kitchen and dining room. That's great. Well,
and he'd have neighbor men come over, and they would all. You put another branch on. It was time to have a little, I guess 7 to 7 maybe. You know,
little nip.
Have a quick one.
Little nip. Yeah, they did.
It took 3 days.
That's why it took 3 days. Yeah, every branch required a new nip. That's a problem for sure. All right.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Bubba. I appreciate you calling in as well. Let's see. Tom is on the line. Let's see what Tom has to say. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Michael. How are you today?
Good. It's a beautiful day.
So Christmas was a big deal for my mom, and decorating the tree was huge. So we had a big spot where you could put a gigantic tree in there. We grew up in the country, so we'd always go out in our backyard. We'd go out a mile out in the woods, and we'd cut our own tree down and drag it back. And yes, Sam came with us. He was always running around. Remember Sam the raccoon?
Sam the raccoon.
Anyways,
yeah. I told that story this week. I told this story during Thanksgiving dinner, and everybody was laughing so hard.
It's too funny. Yeah, he'd be trailing behind us miles into the woods to get a Christmas tree. Anyways, this one particular Christmas, we didn't feel like hiking all the way back in the hills, so we had this gigantic pine tree in our backyard. Majestic, stood up there by itself. It was phenomenal. So it was about 40 feet tall, but we shortened it one year, and we climbed the tree and topped it and brought the tree inside. My mom was off at the stores or something. She came home, was so excited to see this big, beautiful tree in our house. And a few hours later, she went out back and saw that the top of the tree was missing. She was so pissed off. She took that one to her grave. And,
so she didn't know that she didn't know that you had topped it until later.
No, she's just so excited to have this tree in her house, and then she walked outside and just the top 15 feet was missing.
Oh man.
And
well,
she was so upset.
You'll never live that one down. That was the
and I don't know what happened with my dad, because he was involved in that, but I'm sure as a relationship there was a problem there. But
oh man.
Anyways, like I said, she took that one to her grave. She was pissed for the rest of her life on
well sometimes you just gotta let it go. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, thank you so much for sharing.
Take care.
Appreciate the Christmas memory there. All right, we're coming up on the break. We got more coming up. The Michael Duke Show, Common Sense, Liberty Base, Free Thinking Radio. We're just kind of riffing about Christmas stuff and whatever comes to mind. Oh, we'll be back. Phone lines are open, 319-527-3864. We'll return in just a moment.
Running on 100% pure beard power. Oh, also some coffee. We dip our beard in coffee.
Nice beard.
The Michael Duke Show.
All right. Greg says, my papa would slice the tree in half vertically and then tape it to the exterior window. And so it would be an inside-outside tree. Oh, my gosh. That is that's brilliant. That's some brilliant stuff right there, Greg. All right. You have to kill. Let's see, I live in Arizona. I would guess, if I had to guess, says Ron, I would say that the best Christmases were the ones that you had the least because you appreciated what little you did get. I could see that. I could see that. Anthony's talking about the Walmart fiasco. He said it's not a tariff thing. It's Walmart compensating for increased shipping traffic for the holidays. Coming out of the distribution center. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. We butchered our own. Can't do live trees. My dogs are savages and will begin violently peeing on it. Oh, geez. Jeez. Okay. I didn't need that. That's sincere. My mom was born on Christmas Day and so consequently never had a birthday. So my dad moved a major holiday to Christmas Eve so she could have a birthday. He was a chief, so he'd invite people to both events. And then in when Fairbanks was mostly back in the days when Fairbanks was mostly single men, our house would be overflowing for 2 days and mom didn't have to clean up on Christmas Day. That's great. That's great. Nothing like a turkey sandwich for breakfast. I wish, man. Man, imagine being a mighty pine tree that's lived for 100 plus years and some insane monkeys with tools climb up your trunk and circumcise you to decorate their home. Sorry, that just struck me as man. Let's see. I've taken my fishing poles and placed them like a teepee frame with the smaller poles tie at the tips and the longer poles tied at the tip of the outside, often around the smaller poles. Then he wrapped some green garland and lights around the inner and outer poles. Then I would untangle all my lures from my tackle box and hang them like ornaments. It looked really good. I called it my Fishmas tree. Of course, of course it did. Good morning. My Fishmas tree. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm all caught up on the comments. Except for John's comment. Bacon is positive, just saying. Snowy in the North Pole, but bacon, that's right. Bacon's what I had for dinner last night. I love me some bacon. Bacon. All right. I think I'm all Etch-a-Sketch. That was one of Kim's favorites. He loved Etch-a-Sketch. Can't draw a lick, but as an 8-year-old, I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's, I love me some Etch-a-Sketch. That's some cool stuff. And then Kim said, Dad sprayed industrial spray on cellulose for a living. Christmas would come around. We would open a tree lot and spray or flock trees, all different colors. As kids would make wreaths for extra money. Well, that's kind of cool. That's it. That's kind of cool. I like it. I like it a lot. My mom's birthday was Christmas Eve, says Barbara, as is my youngest daughter. That's got to be tough. I mean, I can't imagine. My buddy Perry, his birthday is on Christmas Eve. And I got to imagine that's kind of it's kind of a downer, especially as a kid. That would suck, because again, you don't get a Christmas and if you're, let's face it, parents, if you're a parent, you're probably like, okay, I'm going to get this kid, the same amount of presents that I get every other kid for Christmas, but now I'm going to split them up and get Christmas Eve, you get half, on Christmas Day, you get half. Same thing. They get gypped, right? They get a little bit of gyppage going on there, but it is what it is. It's, anyway, it's one of those things. I just can't imagine.
Public enema number one. Oh, wait, sorry. Enemy. Public enemy number one, which makes more sense. On the other hand, he's a little bit of a pain in the Michael Duke Show.
Okay. Welcome back. 39 whole degrees here outside the Radio Ranch on top of the world in beautiful Homer. It is, the weather's been so weird. Just the last, it just is so weird the last few days. But again, I guess it beats the 50 below that we would normally see in Fairbanks or something like that. So I'm okay with it. We are continuing on this morning. It's just kind of open line, open form. And we've been talking about holidays and Christmases. We were just talking about, people who have birthdays that are on or around Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. That's a problem. That's a Perry, who runs the stations in Fairbanks, his birthday is on the Christmas Eve, I think. And I just thought, boy, as a kid, that must have been rough because, I have a birthday in August and then I get Christmas presents. So I get birthday presents in August and then I get Christmas presents. But we know as a parent, when the kid's birthday is on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, you're buying him the same amount of presents as the other kids, and you're just giving half to him now and half to him tomorrow, right? Or something like that. It's just like, you just get gypped on that. Well, how does that work? How would it, I feel like I missed out kind of thing. But, yeah, I can't imagine having to deal with that. As a kid, that would have been a struggle. As an adult, okay, you get to deal with it. But it's one of those things where it's just like, I can't imagine the if your birthday falls in the week of Christmas, you get some pretty meh gifts for your birthday, as everyone would be saving the good ones for Christmas. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Chris in the chat room just said, she said, my husband's birthday is in January and his family always saying that they are broke after Christmas, so no presents for him. Okay. Maybe that would be worse than having a Christmas birthday, is to have a birthday in the first week of January, right after Christmas. No soup for you. No soup for you. Sorry. No more room at the end where all the bank account is dry, and sorry you didn't get any Christmas presents, kid. Or sorry you didn't get any birthday presents. You got them for Christmas. You got your birthday presents for Christmas. Suck it up and love it. That's what it's all about. 25 in Fairbanks this morning, 11 below up on the North Slope. Ron just reporting what's going on on the North Slope thing. You can keep the 11 below. I'm okay. I'm okay with the 40 above here in beautiful Homer. It's all good. This is that great time of year though. I mean, everybody's smiling right now, I think, because I'm smiling. But everybody, I feel like, who's listening to these stories about all these different things, you got to be smiling a little bit, right? The corners of your mouth have got to be tipping up a little bit. And it's a great, it's just a great, isn't it a great feeling to have a little bit of that Christmas spirit out there? That's what's important. Just the memories, the family, the reason for the season. We're in the season of Advent, so we're in the hope phase of Advent. We're working our way through the week, and I'm just excited about the coming holiday season. So it's great. This is a great time of year. And I told my wife, I said, now last year, because I'm a whiner sometimes. I'd be the first to admit it. I whine a little bit as I get near the end of the year because I'm just exhausted. I'm just like, man, I can't take much more of this stuff, right? And usually by the end of the year, I whine and I look and I start to take some time off or try and but last year, because we were in the process of transitioning and taking over the stations and doing everything else, I mean, I literally worked from Halloween through New Year's. I had 2 days off. I had Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day off. I was working the rest of the time. And so this year I feel extra tired, right? I'm like extra. And so now I just told Terry yesterday, I said, man, I feel like I need to whine a little bit about this. I'm ready for the holidays and some eggnog and mulled wine and whatever bring on the holiday treats and the things. I'm going to eat like a jolly old fat man this year. I'm not even going to worry about it for the holidays, and I'm just going to enjoy myself and take some time and I hope you guys do too. I guess I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the show. We will be off the air from the December 22nd through January 1st. And I'll be returning to the airwaves on Monday, January the 3rd. I've decided I'm not just going to do that one day. There's like one day. The first is a Thursday, the second is a Friday, and then it's the weekend. I'm not just going to do the one day. So we're going to come back on January the 3rd. No. What would that be? 3rd, 4th, 5th, January the 5th. See, I didn't even get my math right. All right, that's it. I'm out that's it. I can't do the math. I gotta. All right, we're going to be back with more. Don't go anywhere. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Will return with more right after this. Hour 2 is dead ahead. I guess we'll get into some things. I don't know what. And the phone lines are open, so you guide us. Okay. I fixed it. January the 5th. That's when I return. January the 5th. Because otherwise it's just that one day and I'm going to be totally no. That's not how it's going to work for me. Mike, let's see. I'm going back up here. See, 11 below and snowing, yada, yada, yada. Mom loved that we gave her both Christmas and birthday presents, but she pointed out the last year of her life that she never got birthday gifts wrapped in birthday paper. I guess it never occurred to us. Come on. Miguel says that they celebrate Three Kings Day as well. They exchange one gift in January. I've never heard of I mean, I feel a little bad here. Three Kings Day. Is that a Puerto Rico thing? Also known as Epiphany, is celebrated on January 6th to commemorate the biblical story of the three wise men or magi visiting the newborn king and bringing him gifts. It marks the end of the Christmas season and is celebrated celebrated by various traditions like parades, feasts, gift giving, and special cakes called Rosca de Reyes. Rosca de Reyes. Celebrated as prominent in many Hispanic cultures. Okay. I didn't even know about Three Kings Day. But I like it. I like it. Hey, I'll take all those things and make them my own. I love it. Falling snow yesterday and now again today, says Debbie. She's loving that. All right. Well, that's great, Debbie. Sourdough says my grandma's birthday is December 26th and my dad is December 28th. Oh man, that just so hard for that, right? Okay. How does everyone handle the holiday blahs? I have spent several years doing the old, we have to go to your parents, then to my parents, then to so-and-so. So after 4 places in one day, the spirit sucked out. Then throw in a spiteful ex that made it impossible to enjoy, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. I don't know, Richie. I guess, just focus on the good memories. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. It's just on the good memories. And I'm sure that it gets hard when let's face it, when we ended up with 5 kids at the end of the whole thing, it got tough to haul everybody around and go do the Christmases. But we did them. And then eventually we did our own. And that's just kind of where it goes, This is the time of year where Alaska becomes like 5 different places with wildly different weather, and we silently throw shade at the zones with better or warmer weather than ours. You're jealous, Anthony, of my 40 degrees and rain. You're more jealous of that than all that snow. Yeah. All right. We're missing a Firearms Friday. I know you'll be missing a Firearms Friday because but you know what? I'm going to have a hard time spinning myself up for one day before a weekend. And I just decided, no. I was thinking about it for a couple days. I'm like, well, that's a long time to go without, saying anything or being part of the, that's a long time. And I'm just like, no, what? No. So it is what it is. I wish Wasilla would get some snow as he sniffles. I don't know what I sniffled about, but you could keep the rain, sir. Rain turns into ice and eventually, and I like my knees and hips too much to pancake myself. You definitely get good at doing the shuffle, doing the little, the little shuffle down there with some ice cleats. You definitely get used to that. All right. Barbara is on the line here. We're going to be jumping over and joining her here at the very top of the hour here, as soon as we get out of this news, and we will be back. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Teresa said, volunteering to be a bell ringer for the Salvation Army was a great way to beat the holiday blahs when I was younger. So there you go, Richie. You could volunteer to be a bell ringer. There's an idea. Did I mention 44 in Kodiak, says Paul? Neener. All right. You win. 44 in Kodiak. That's all good. All right, my friends. We're going back to it. Here we go. The Michael Duke Show.
Whoa, buddy. Put that thing back in its holster. We haven't gone anywhere.
I don't understand.
Check out the MichaelDukesShow.com for information on how to get access to the podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal.
The Michael Dukes Show.
The greed and the entitlement is astounding to me.
What more could you want from a low-budget radio program?
This is a dumpster fire.
That's just BS.
It is time to get a new perspective.
We know just what you need, and we've got just the cure. Open wide and prepare for a steaming hot cup of freedom.
I just don't fathom it.
The Michael Dukes Show, streaming live across the world.
Oh, live around the world on the internet at michaeldukeshow.com and across the state of Alaska on this, your favorite radio station and or FM translator. Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the program. It is another beautiful day here in paradise, and we are continuing on. No guests today, so we've been doing open line, open forum. I know yesterday I said I would have the folks from the I messed up. I got my days mixed up. The whole holiday thing with the Thanksgiving, that just truly messed me up. Tomorrow on the program, Crystal Larimore, one of the founders of the Wheelchairs for Warriors Project, will be joining us in hour 2. In hour 1, Natalie Thomas with the Nikolaevich School, Charter School, is going to be on board to tell us about how they succeeded and next steps and everything else. Friday, I have no idea yet. Donna Ardwin and Joe Gelhoff are going to be on into next week. So that'll be for next week. And then, so today we were just doing Christmas memories and other things. Barbara's on the line. So the phone lines are open at 319-527-3864. Barbara is out there. So she's been waiting patiently. Let's get over to it. Good morning, Barbara. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
Good.
Hey, I just wanted to point out to people, I know nobody wants to do politics. I get it. But there is this House Resolution 260 that's in the federal Senate, not the state Senate, but the U.S. Senate. And it's been stuck there, and it takes away the funding for the Taliban. And I don't know how many people are aware, even with Trump being president, we have an agreement where we've been sending, the Biden administration put us under this agreement of some kind where we're sending like $20 million a week to Afghanistan, to a bank that's owned by the Taliban. And it needs to stop. So there's an article on it. Must read. House District 33 passed a resolution on it. I just don't think we should be funding the Taliban. And I think there's a lot of other people who agree. And it would just be nice if people could read it, react to it, maybe drop a letter or two, mention it in your Christmas cards to the folks back east. When you're writing your senators, or you're writing cousins who have senators in other states.
Okay.
See if we can get this thing dislodged from the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. And
you really know how to you really know how to have a good time, Barbara. You want us to write our Christmas cards to our family back east and tell them, by the way, also tell them to defund the Taliban too at the same time.
You have to be calling them, hey, by the way, no, but I mean, in all due seriousness, why are we funding the Taliban?
Why are we funding all this overseas stuff? Why are we giving money to all these foreign nations that always eventually end up hating us anyway and trying to kill us?
I know.
mean, right? I mean, why do we get entangled in foreign wars, as Jefferson oft asked? I mean, why get in foreign entanglements? We don't need that stuff. Why are we out there doing it? 20 million a week? Oh man.
I mean,
come on.
I could see giving, some food aid or something like that, after a tycoon or whatever. But, how long are we supposed to be sending money to Afghanistan here? Forget it. This, we didn't lose that war. We just withdrew.
Right.
And
yeah, we didn't win.
Anyway,
we didn't lose. It was they call it the quagmire. They call it the graveyard of nations for a reason.
That's right.
And
so anyway, seriously, people, we have the House District resolution that we passed the other night at here in North Pole. There's an article on it, a must read. Take a look at it. If you have a local district committee you're working with, maybe you can have them take a look at the resolution or write your own. I don't care. But start kind of getting involved a little bit. I don't do a lot with national politics, but sometimes there's things that are just so egregious, you got to speak up. And this is one of them.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
At any rate,
I appreciate it, Barbara. Thank you for sounding off. And I don't know if I ever want to receive a postcard or Christmas card from you, Barbara, because you're going to tell me what to do politically on my Christmas card. There's something wrong with you.
Come on. We all have those people who call on Christmas Day from wherever,
All right, Barbara.
Maybe your family doesn't talk politics. Mine does.
Yeah, well.
They're going to tell me how terrible Trump is, so I'm going to tell them, well, here's this thing left over from Biden.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that'll be an exciting Christmas for you. All right. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate you sounding off and calling in. 319-527-3864. 319-527-3864. How many of you actually ended up talking politics at your Christmas, gatherings or Christmas parties? I mean, even when I started doing my own radio show and we were still showing up, we never really talked about that. We never really talked about, maybe occasionally something would come up, just in passing, but never, I don't know. It just, to me, that's just such a weird thing to include in a holiday, but I know it's a thing, right? Politics and religion and whatever else that you're not supposed to talk about with your families at the holiday dinner table. I'm sure people have done it. But we were taught, Elisa says, we were taught that you don't talk politics. I don't know. We're all good. What are some of the stories that were coming up? I mean, I guess let me just breeze over the stories because it's almost like I can't be made to care at this point. So again, several news stories coming out about the Delana Johnson House Minority Leader, the whole story about the Discord. Now there's a 10th. It was yesterday, it was 8 or 9. Now it's up to 10 different districts had something to say. 10th GOP District Committee rebukes the House Minority Reorganization, says that the leadership excludes representatives. And then Suzanne Downing keeps making this connection to the Muskox Coalition back in 2016. Like, this is what's happening. And this is, I don't know how I don't think it is a Muskox Coalition. I don't think it's the rise of the same, but anyway, that's one of the other stories. And of course, again, you got the 10th GOP district, District 6 down here has now done the same thing. A new district, condemns the move to exclude the representatives from the House Minority Organization. That's some things. And there is an article that Barbara was just talking about the Taliban, which again, Matsu school bus carrying 9 students tipped over on the road. Nobody hurt. So that's a great story. There is a story about the Matsu animal control takeover where they're trying to, I guess animal control is big business. Fairbanks has got the $33 million puppy palace. And now the Matsu is talking about a new plan that would simplify animal control, but would cause higher property taxes for city residents. It would consider a plan to standardize animal control because basically everything is going through the borough right now. But the cities have got their own control plans where they pay anyway, it's a thing. It's a whole, and it's interesting, but I don't know if I care enough about it right now to talk about it. And that's it. That's like all the headlines. There was just not a lot, everybody is ready to get back with it and do some fun stuff. They want to get back to the holidays. Let's see what Miguel has to say. He just told me about Three Kings Day, so I'm kind of excited about that. Let's move over to Miguel. Hello, my friends. How are you?
Good morning to everybody. Good morning to you. Merry Christmas to all. How's everybody doing this morning?
Good. What's on your mind, my friend?
No, just it's time to be in the Christmas spirit. You deserve a well-deserved break, Mike, so don't worry about coming in on that Friday. We can survive till Monday without you.
Right.
The legislation conversations.
Exactly. No, I mean, I thought if I come back from that one day, because I always come back on January the 2nd, but in this case, January the 2nd is a Friday. So I got to get up early one day and then and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it for one day. So we're going to be off the air from the 22nd of December to January the 5th will be our first day back. So we get a good solid couple weeks of sleep. By then I'll have kicked this cold. It'll all be fine.
Yeah, I got a nephew who was born. His birthday is like around, I think it's the 28th of December, but we give him a separate birthday gift. And my aunt, my mom's sister, she was born the 29th. So we make sure we don't spoil their Christmas or birthdays. So it's always been a blessing to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I never thought about that, how hard it must be for kids and parents and everything else who are, who've got something like that going on where you've got a birthday and Christmas that are basically on top of each other. I'd never really considered that, but here you are. This is what it looks like. So
yeah, and we celebrate Three Kings Day. It's a very big thing on my mother's side of the family.
Yeah.
I know many Hispanic cultures do it. Puerto Rico is a big thing because it's like a national federal holiday. In Puerto Rico, they shut down the whole island for Three Kings Day. So it's like Christmas Day here.
Nice.
They shut down the whole island. Everything's closed, school, government, everything. But you exchange one gift to honor the each gift that each king brought to baby Jesus, and then you celebrate it by you named it the Arasco bread. Inside the bread, there's like a little baby Jesus, and if you cut the piece of the bread and it has the baby Jesus in it, you're responsible for the party the following year.
Oh, it's kind of like the Mardi Gras King's cake, only you're not the winner if you get the baby.
Yeah, so, you're the winner if you get the baby. So yeah. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I know we talk a lot about politics, but I think one way to get people out of a home is just, some people do, but most people will leave the home if you start talking about politics. That's, I think somebody in your show said it the best way at a Thanksgiving dinner to get people to leave a family dinner if you don't like them is to start talking about politics.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, that is true right there. All right, my friend. Well, thank you for calling in, Miguel. I appreciate you being part of it today. 319-527-3864, 319-527-3864. If you want to sound off and keep us off the political track, feel free to dive in. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a commentary here in just a moment on a couple things, but you could keep me off of that if you just call up with your Christmas thoughts, ideas, memories, whatever. There you go. We got to go. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. Back with more after this.
Listened to by more staffers in Juneau than any other show because their bosses told them to. And after what they just heard, oh man, they're going to be pissed.
You're a bad, bad man.
The Michael Duke Show.
Okay. You could do a late risers Michael Duke show on 1-2, like 8 a.m. Dude, that's a late risers. Because when I'm sleeping in, I'm sleeping in. The problem is I'm always sleeping in because I stay up way too late the night before if I know that I'm sleeping in. I always screw my own. I always screw my own sleep schedule up. I admit it. I admit it. Let's see. You know, Michael, I went to a sales course in Fairbanks to be a salesperson, and the thing they said don't talk about is religion and politics. That'll start a fight. Customers will fire you. It was funny. Yeah, well, you know, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? Is Mrs. Butterworth still a thing? Oof. Mrs. Butterworth's was good. That artificially buttery flavor. That artificially buttery flavor was so good. But if you're asking what do I put on French toast? A sprinkling of cinnamon and some brown sugar. That's what I put on French toast. Butter, and then a little sprinkling of brown sugar, and it just makes a nice little glaze, and it's so delicious. Both my kids were born Christmas week too, says Layla, so they appreciate what we learned from mom sharing a birthday with Jesus. My son is very flexible with his birthday. We do his birthday parties as a kid on Thanksgiving weekend, and our daughter, a very social human, would have a giant sleepover on her birthday or whatever the last day of school was. Nice. Chris says, I have never been able to sleep in. Even when I was little, I went to bed early and got up early. No, I mean, I love that. Don't get me wrong. I usually don't have any problem getting up early. But there are times when if I don't have anything else to do, I can lay down and I can go to sleep. Usually. 10 hours is a thing. We use real butter. Well, yeah, real butter is good. That's real butter. And real maple syrup. If you have maple syrup with real butter, definitely a plus. Mike, did your French toast in melted vanilla ice cream as the batter? It's absolutely delicious. Oh, dip your French toast in melted vanilla ice cream as the batter. It's absolutely delicious. You should try it. That sounds good. I haven't had Mrs. Butterworth in years, but I still remember how addictive it could be. Chris says, I'm lucky to get 5 hours of sleep each night. Well, I would not be able to function. I get about 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours sometimes on the weekdays. But then on the weekends, I'll sleep for 10 hours because I'm wore out. I'm wore out. Although they say you can't catch up on sleep, I guess. I don't know. Well, this show is such a poop parade today. We're just kind of hanging out. I'm digging it, but we got more to do. My in-laws lived in New Orleans. My father-in-law made sure my oldest daughter got the baby. Thinks she'd be thrilled she got the baby Jesus. She was maybe 10 at the time. what she remembered was that she had to pay for next year's cake. Freaked her out trying to figure out how she was going to pay. That's just mean. Just mean. Not right.
The Michael Duke Show. Not your daddy. Wait, sorry. Not your daddy? Ooh, not your daddy's talk radio. Huh. Whew. I was scared for a second. Thought we were going down. Here's Michael Dukes and the show.
Okay. We got we've just been talking about Christmas stuff and artificial butter flavor, apparently. So, because Harold was asking about what's the best for French toast? What's the best for French toast, maple or log cabin? Now, first of all, if you have the chance to have real maple syrup, I don't know why you're even continuing with that question. Second, log cabin is, you got Mrs. Butterworth, right? Aunt Jemima. Those are some good ones. But I don't like syrup for the most part. Except I do like syrup on pancakes, but I don't like syrup on like my waffles. I like a little jam. I like waffles with jam. On my French toast, though, it's got to be French toast, little bit of real, butter melted out there, and then just a light sprinkling of brown sugar on top of the butter. That makes some delicious French toast. Back in the day, I used to like Mrs. Butterworth's, although it's that artificially buttery kind of, so I'm sure I'm getting cancer just thinking about it. But that was the thing. But yeah, so this is the kind of stuff we're talking about in the chat room this morning. It's a little crazy, My waffles are like peanut butter and jelly and a little maple syrup, maybe, says Justin. Jelly on waffles is delicious. There's nothing better than a little waffle action with some fresh butter and then like a nice raspberry or strawberry jam just kind of smeared in the little holes, on top of the waffle. Not too much. You don't want to go too crazy. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Brian just said Golden Eagle table syrup, which, Brian, we talked about that one day. I had no idea what Golden Eagle table syrup was. And Brian was kind enough to apparently I ended up with a bottle of it in the mail that came from Brian. And it's interesting. It's interesting. It tastes like Caro syrup. I don't know. If you ever had Caro syrup when you were making, whatever, it doesn't really have much. It's just sweet. I can't, I had some toast with it and it was interesting. And I was like, well, but also it hurt my teeth. You know what I mean? Kind of like one of those things where you're like, that's weird. But yeah, the Golden Eagle table syrup is a big thing apparently out. It's out west? Is it in the South or is it out east? Wherever it is. I'd never heard of it before. In fact, I had to laugh because I came across the jar last week. It's in the cupboard still. I moved, we came down here. So maybe I'll have to retry the gold. Maybe you can tell me, Deep South, maybe you can tell me what the best Golden Eagle table syrup use is. Maybe there's a special, use it on this or do it on that or whatever. Kim, though, says Golden Eagle has a low sugar content. That's really quite good. Well, okay. I didn't know that because it tastes really, like I said, it tastes like corn. It's like Caro. It's sweet, definitely sweet. Okay. Let's go over to the telephones and see what you have to say. 319-527-3864. This show is definitely not one. I don't even know if I'll put the podcast of this up. That's how great it is today. Let's go over here and see who's on the line. Good morning. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Michael. My name is Mike. I'm calling from Fairbanks.
Hello, Mike. What's on your mind?
I got two quick subjects here. First off, Mike, anything is good on waffles. Bacon and eggs is good on waffles.
True.
You know, syrup, all that stuff.
Chicken.
There just isn't anything that's bad on a waffle.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you're not lying from that regard. I mean, it is, waffles are just kind of good overall. So you're not lying there.
Okay, so this organization by the House Republicans, you know, that's all about power. When you go into the legislature, when the groups go in, you know, they need some sort of power. And so that's what this was. And I think the idea of a muskox coalition is totally what they want to do, because by partnering with however many Democrats they might be able to partner with, they get power.
So, I mean, I don't know if I ascribe that to it. Like I said yesterday, but the appearance of impropriety is like, it's enough to make me question what's going on. I don't think that there's a muskox thing going on, but I don't know. It does raise some questions. Let's just put it that way. It raises some questions for me.
Well, it might not be going on yet, but I think Suzanne is right. And then when the legislature gavels in, or even before, they'll have their coalition ready to go. And I don't think it'll go well for people who are definite conservative.
Well, it didn't go well. I mean, this is the one reason why I think that it probably won't happen, is because it didn't go well for the people who were for most of the people. I guess I would say Louise Stutz being the exception and Bryce Edgman. But for most of the rest of the people, it didn't go well for them either. This was very much a thing that they remembered, and that's how they ended up getting out of office. But the whole thing, again, it just smacks of shadiness. And whether it is or not, whether it was intentional or not, whether it was, whatever, it needs to be addressed. And we'll see if we can get some folks. I invited some folks to come on and talk about it, but I haven't heard anything back yet on that. But I'd love to have a discussion about it that's realistic.
Okay, good for you, Mike, and I'll let you go. Have a good day and a good week.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you sounding off here this morning. I mean, I saw this. There was a Facebook post yesterday from there's a Facebook post yesterday that was made that Delana Johnson made. And it was a quote, and it said, "A lie can travel halfway around the world before the truth puts on its shoes." And people were like, "Preach it, sister." And, well, you go. And then other people were like, "But what is the truth?" I mean, she was quoted in the paper as saying all these, I don't know, it would have, anyway, it's great. It's a great a conundrum. And I know that Alexi Moore was in the chat room yesterday during the show, and she said, that she had tried to speak out against taking the vote without everybody there and all that, but that that they pushed it through, et cetera, et cetera. Look, I just, it's not leadership when you know that you're missing a big chunk of the constituency. That's not leadership. When you know that you've got 2 empty seats and another 5 or 6, so say you got 7, 8, 9, you got 7 or 8, 9 people that aren't there. And so you basically are missing half of the constituency, and you're going to take a vote. Well, that's just crazy. That's just, why would you even bother? I mean, the argument is, well, we need some leadership because we have things that we need to do. That's what the whole behind the scenes. Well, we that's how we needed this vote because we decided we needed a leader in the interim to do things. And so this vote came about because we needed some leadership. And I'm like, if you guys can't get along for 2 weeks without a leader to be driving the train, then you got a problem, right? And if that forces you to take a vote with half of the people missing, then you got deeper issues because you're basically disenfranchising a bunch of people because their leadership is not there to make their case. Because in this case, 2 of the seats were completely vacant, right? So anyway, I saw this screen. I saw this post roll across my Facebook feed, and I was just like, but what? And there was half the people who commented on it were asking her, well, what does it mean? What is the truth then? Tell us what the truth is. Because it is this passive aggressive, kind of innuendo of a lie can travel halfway around the world before the truth puts on its shoes. That, of course, means that what we're hearing is supposedly lies. I mean, she's quoted in the ADN after being interviewed by the ADN. I just want to know what the full story is. Just tell me. Tell me what the story is. But instead, she puts out, anyway. All right. Randy is on the phone. Yeah, I know. I didn't mean to go into the whole the ranty thing. Didn't mean to. Let's forget about that. Let's go over to the phones. Let's see what Randy has to say. Good morning, Randy. How are you?
Hi, Michael. I just kind of wanted to let people know about what's going on in the Fairbanks City Council. On Monday, they did the first reading of a proposed ordinance to have a land acknowledgement for the sake of the Alaskan Native people, and they will continue to have the final reading, and we'll vote on it this coming December 15th. But I'm not really quite in favor of it, though, the land acknowledgement is a nice sentiment, I guess. It starts out by saying, we respectfully acknowledge the Dana people upon whose traditional lands we reside. We honor the Dana who have been the stewards of interior lands and waters for centuries. And it goes on just a little bit more. And they want to place this as something that must be read off at the start of the meeting, right along with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. And I guess my objections are a little bit is that it should be placed right there. What I had suggested to them when I sent a letter in about it to the city council members is that they maybe every now and then one of the council members goes to the Alaska Museum here in Fairbanks, which is a beautiful museum, and go to the Alaska Native section and learn something about what they did and how they created fish wheels or whatever, and report back on it. But I somehow just don't like the idea of it being right next to the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. I think those things have different purposes than what this is. And I just wonder, do you have, there's a number of land acknowledgements here in Fairbanks, in fact, and in different places in the country. Wonder about your neck of the woods, in Homer or where you used to live in Wasilla. Do the governments there have some kind of land acknowledgement?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I think quite honestly, I just think that's a waste of time, quite honestly. The whole land acknowledgement thing is a guilt trip about how we, how one group of people have now taken over another group of people's lands, and you're basically just acknowledging that we conquered you, kind of thing, in one way or another. That's kind of what the implication is, that you're conquerors, and so now you need to acknowledge that you were conquerors. And I find the whole thing just to be offensive. It's it's the land. It is the land. Most of those people and most of those indigenous cultures would be like, we didn't own the land. The land owned us. So I think that this is all a bunch of hypocritical liberal white guilt, basically, going on out there about how we have to all acknowledge of, the land. Nobody owns the land itself, that kind of thing, right? The overall land. This was all land that the people had. And the fact that they're trying to make us acknowledge it is just, to me, it's ridiculous. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way. I know that some land acknowledgments go a lot further. Like there's a radio station here in Fairbanks, a low power FM radio station that has real left wing views and kind of pro Marxists, which I listen to quite a bit, in my car anyway, because it's just interesting, even though I disagree with most everything they say. But on their website, they also have a land acknowledgement that the person can go to, and it starts out by saying, "We at Fairbanks Open Radio broadcast our signal from the ancestral territories of the lower Tanana Dana." In the last paragraph of that acknowledgement on their website says, "We further acknowledge this as a point of reflection for each of us as we work to dismantle colonial injustices." And so some acknowledgments, go straight to the point what they're trying to do, and I think it's kind of like a communist tactic.
It's guilt
to foment.
Yeah, it's guilt, Randy. All these people feel guilty about, the success of society and culture and everything else, and so they've got to try and dismantle it all because they feel guilty, and they're working backwards from there. That's what it's all about. All right, Randy, I appreciate your call. I've got to go here. I got one more call on hold, but I am up against the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. The Michael Dukes Show, Common Sense, Liberty-Based, Free Thinking Radio. We return with one more phone call and I guess final thoughts for today as we continue on your home for Common Sense Radio. 319-527-3864. If you want to sound off, feel free to give us a call this morning.
We're broadcasting live through a series of tubes.
Allowing all of these entities to provide streaming stuff going on the internet.
Well, it's kind of hard to explain. Sorry. Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
Yeah. I don't understand the whole land acknowledgement thing. What purpose does it serve other than to, I guess, guiltify people into being like, oh, we shouldn't have. We're sitting on somebody else. We're squatting on somebody else's land. I don't understand it. It is, that's just how it is. Frank says it's a foothold to reimbursement of lost lands. Maybe, although again, I don't understand. It's kind of crazy. Jennifer said, I spoke to Rep. Delana Johnson last night. She agreed to do a revo when everyone is seated and available, which she did acknowledge in the news article. I mentioned that yesterday, that'll be good if we do that, because that's what needs to happen. She says she's willing to do anything to fix this mess. That's great news. Yeah, I mean, I just, maybe this whole thing was unintentional. I don't know. But like I said, the appearance of impropriety is what's causing the problems. So far, bash the schools, scream at the natives, scream at the Taliban, and poke the natives again. Who am I poking? Yeah, you're such a negative downer, Nelly. Always got to find something bad to talk about something. I never blamed the natives for anything. I never poked at the natives for anything. He asked me what I thought about the land acknowledgement, and I thought it was stupid. There you go. I never said it was the natives' fault or anything else. So, jog on. That's all I'm saying. my final thoughts for the day here, Mike, don't take any type of vote until you have everyone at the table. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's see. I know the feeling of shade in politics, and it doesn't feel good to be in a situation where your voice no longer matters. Pure shade. Yeah, well, that's, what else is going on here, Mike? The butter. What? Oh, sorry, I'm scrolling backwards here. I missed some of the. Let's bash education. I didn't. Jesus, Mary. I don't even know what you're talking about, man. Everything you got is always something that we're bashing something somewhere. Okay. Total power play. Michael, the butter cookies from Denmark is the best. They're like sugar cookies. I've seen the videos of the one from India. If it's real, it's terrible. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I didn't know that there was butter cookies from India. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there was butter cookies from India. I don't think I would trust butter cookies from India. I mean, I've seen some of the food that gets made over there. Some of the way the manufacturing processes are done over there. It would make me a little nervous, right? I've seen. Chris said his mom made the best sugar cookies. I do love me some sugar cookies. My daughter makes eggnog snickerdoodles, which are the best of all worlds. You get the cinnamony snickerdoodle with the eggnoggy and the nutmeg and it's delicious. Shut up and take my money. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Finals are so bad. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Jennifer said, I've done a lot of fact gathering before getting too excited or getting too upset, I think is what she means here. And it seems that the whole meeting was organic and unintentional. Well, maybe it was. And you know what? So much the better if it was. But, leadership requires you to think those things through on the fly kind of thing, Okay. It was stupid. Okay. And then deny it all. Apparently I denied it. Whatever Harold is. I'm just going to deny Harold. I deny thee, Harold. I deny thee. French toast is delicious. What do you mean? French toast is absolutely delicious. All right. We're going to continue on.
The Michael Duke Show, proudly splitting the left versus right dichotomy. Yeah, I had to look that word up too. I don't think it means what he thinks it means. Here he is, though. That guy, Michael Dukes, the one with the show.
What the heck are you talking about? All in capitals. Cookies from India? Man, you're off the rails. I know this show is completely off the rails this morning. I mean, I just, we've been talking about some weird stuff today. It just it's just kind of a free-for-all smorgasbord of whateverness. Let's go over to the phones. We got one more caller here laid out, and we got time for a couple more if we need to. But let's go over to the phones and see who's on the line right now. Good morning. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, sunshine. This is the bunny lady.
Hello, bunny.
Derailed? Well, let's go ahead and Amtrak it.
Okay.
All right. I was the one that said you sound like the closet monster when you lowered your voice.
Right.
This time, I wish to congratulate you.
Okay. What did I do?
I know, surprising. Cousin Randy. Bravo. Cousin Randy rocks. Everyone has a Cousin Randy. But what I really want to know, who does the scream?
Oh, that's a goat scream. That's a goat screaming. That's you're talking. She's talking for callers who have no idea what she's talking about. There's an ad for AC/DC Electrical that talks about Cousin Randy, and we all do have a Cousin Randy out there somewhere. But there is a scream in that commercial, and that is literally a goat scream in that commercial.
What did you do to the goat?
I didn't do anything. That's like one of the most famous goat screams in the world. It's out there. You can go Google it and see it all day long.
Oh, gee shucks, really, can I? Thank you. Okay, well, that was all I had to say.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thank you. That we have a good time out there. That's a fun one. Sometimes you got to enjoy yourself when you're doing your work. So I appreciate it, buddy lady.
Don't worry, I'll criticize you next time. You have fun.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, she hates some people hate this. I think it's hysterical, quite honestly. I think that is some fun stuff, and it's ear catching. It definitely gets people's attention. The goat scream is enough to just it gets you going. It gets you going for sure. All right. So tomorrow on the program, again, if you want to call in and sound off at anything this morning, 319-527-3864. We've been talking about Christmas stuff and memories and all that. But tomorrow on the program, we're going to start off in hour one with Natalie Thomas, who's going to come in and talk with us about the Nikolaevsk school charter that just got approved by the Kenai Peninsula Borough School District and what their next steps are and what she would recommend, if she has any advice for people out there who maybe want to start their own charter school, because this has been an ongoing, they've been working on this for, what's it been, Lisa, 3-4 years? They've been trying to get this charter school up there. And then now, since the district closed down the school itself in Nikolaevsk, this is the way that they get it done. Anyway, we'll talk with Natalie Thomas tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Then in hour two, we're going to talk with Crystal Larimore, who is a founder of the Wheelchairs for Warriors project, who has just come out with a very, very funny ad campaign that is out there trying to raise awareness and raise money and funds for wounded warriors, and getting them the ability to be able to move around. Have you seen this ad with the white gorilla in the wheelchair? It's hysterical. It's really well done. And but anyway, we're going to talk with Crystal Larimore tomorrow about Wheelchairs for Warriors and how that came about, and just kind of a good fun time. Next week, we've got a full week of whatever. We could do a mixture of Christmas and good stuff and everything else. But the following week, the 15th of December, that whole week is going to be, I'm going to do my darndest to make sure that the whole week has some kind of Christmas feel going through it. We're going to, we may still talk about some political story of this or that or the other. We got to, because the governor's budget's coming out that Monday, right? The 15th. So I'm sure that we'll have some discussion, but we will also have some talk about the top, we're going to talk about some of all the holiday stuff on that way. I don't know exactly what, but I know that we're going to do recipes. Holy cow. I forgot to put up the recipe contest over the weekend. I just remembered it. So we're going to do a recipe contest as well. So we'll do it up on our Facebook page where everybody can share their favorite recipes. And then you, the listening audience, can vote on what recipes sound the best. And whoever gets the most likes on their recipe will be the winner. And I will post my grandmother's, well, I don't know. You tell me. Should I post my grandmother's pumpkin pie recipe up? Which is, so good. It's a chiffon, very fluffy, not that thick condensed, but a very fluffy, flavorful, rich pumpkin pie. Or my father's and grandfather's brown sugar bourbon ham recipe. Which one should I post for the thing? Or should we? Still waiting on my dad to send me my bread pudding recipe, because he said he was going to send it to me because I said I couldn't figure out where I packed it away. But I could put any of those recipes up. So anyway, sorry, sidebar, squirrel. I got distracted by food. Big surprise there. Big surprise. Holiday recipe contest. I don't know what the winning what the prize will be, but it'll be something. We'll get you a bag of coffee, or we'll get you a t-shirt, or we'll get you something that maybe we'll give you a gift pack. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's something I apparently have to do today or tomorrow to get it all up. But we'll post it up on our Facebook page, and you can enjoy all the holiday eats that your friends and fellow listeners will be putting out there. And I've gotten some good ones. Over the years. The oyster stuffing, that was a good one we had one year. And then my dog just crop dusted the whole studio. And then cornbread dressing. Has anybody had the cornbread stuffing? Ooh, so good. It's yeah, there's some great stuff. There's some great stuff out there. So we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this later on this week as we get through it and continue on. Okay, my friends, that's it for today. The Michael Duke Show, common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. We will see you guys tomorrow with, again, Natalie Thomas and Crystal Larimore from Wheelchairs for Warriors. Thank you for putting up with me today. I'm just glad we didn't get too far into the politics. I like that. Be kind, love one another, live well. The Michael Duke Show, Common Sense Radio. Okay, my friends. Well, that does it for me. Got to do some driving today. We will see you tomorrow. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. I love that. Thank you, Miguel. All right, guys. Again, be kind, love one another, live well. We will see you later. Have a great day.
We've shed our terrestrial radio skin, and now we are slimy lizard internet people. It's the Michael Duke Show.